I'm a suspect in the destruction of 4 tanks. But I know what I saw. It was the beginning of a wonderful vacation. We had come for the coast, the sun, the sea. I was ready for some surfing. Woo! I love my board. Heavy can't swim, so he came for me here. Jackie Sheridan is a big fan of sharks. He's been tracking down some rare species in these waters. He warned us it might be dangerous around here. High tide was coming, but there was something ominous about it. The water began to rise. I left my board, and then Heavy and I rushed higher up the hill. Yes, that's me in a rush. 2 tourists decided they were old sea dogs who were not afraid of high tide. But they should have been. We were trapped. The 2 tourists were left in the water along with my board. And there was something hungry. The yo, also called the M5Y, or what the hell, seems interesting. But there's a reason for its unique appearance. This monster wasn't designed by a child who started drawing a pickle, then changed his mind and drew a combat robot. In practice, this shape reduces the frontal projection. But just look at it from the front. This shape has unusual armor with lots of small details. The lower and upper glacis plates are easy to penetrate, but due to their round shapes, you're forced to aim directly at the center to prevent the shell from ricocheting. The tank's incredibly narrow hull allows for easy side scraping, and its wide tracks will withstand any hit. Well, almost any hit. But the most interesting part is its turret. First, it's high. Sky high! Thanks to the turret height, its impressive 10 degrees of gun depression allow you to take positions where low tanks would have to expose their hulls. Aside from the cupola you can cover, enemies can have a hard time hitting the turret front. But they can very easily penetrate its side. If several opponents are looking at the yo from different sides, it may risk getting dizzy. Generally speaking, the M5Y's armor is similar to that of the T110E5. However, the T110E5 has better frontal armor, while the yo has better depression angles. And the yo's cupola is definitely smaller. But what makes the armor truly special is its aerodynamics. The yo looks like a starship for a reason. It's barely limited in mobility. The tank's specific power can reach up to 18 horsepower per ton. The vehicle traverses quickly and can confidently maintain a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Need more speed? Equip the turbocharger. This way, it will have close to the mobility of a medium tank. The Turbo Yo will be one of your best tanks in terms of armor and mobility. It can be among the first to take position and easily chase fleeing enemies. I started to understand what we were facing. This opponent would be hard to beat, but even harder to escape. Wait a minute, my board! I'd have to go down to the water to get it. Only the board can help me escape and call for help. Heavy can't swim and Jackie can't reach the board with his short gun. So I'd have to do it myself. I've got to escape. What? Lightning fast and so accurate. That's how I found out about that monster's gun. The Yo has two top guns to choose from. The 105mm quick-firing cannon has such low damage per shot that the mouse won't even feel it. But that's its only drawback. The gun fires quickly and accurately, transforming the Yo into an aggressive mix of a heavy and medium tank. You might not want to let go of that left mouse button at all. You'll want to just roll forward and fire, fire, fire. Opponents won't know whether they're facing an attack from a group of tanks or just one exceptional vehicle. You won't even need to think about aiming. The excellent stabilization allows you to hit the enemy at close range immediately. And if the opponent is far, just one breath, and you're ready to lay down fire. Thanks to the tank's good dispersion and almost immediate aiming, you won't be waiting around for long when striking in the heat of battle. Thanks to the heat shells with relatively good penetration, hits from any distance won't be just a scratch. And yes, the reload time of 6.5 seconds lets you keep the enemy tracked. If your opponent hasn't trained repair, they will face a quick and painful end. This gun is effective in skilled hands and gives you unique, aggressive gameplay with damage per minute and comfort of fire. It might be fun to play with such a gun, but don't assume it'll be easy. If you prefer safer gameplay, try the big gun, which causes 440 HP of damage per shot. This second cannon provides for more measured positional gameplay. With it, the Yo resembles a regular heavy tank. The alpha damage allows for trading shots, while the damage per minute is lower but still good. Aiming time and dispersion are higher than with the 105mm gun, but still decent. But all that comes at the cost of 300mm of penetration by heat shells. It teaches a good lesson, though. Always aim at vulnerable spots and help the enemy mouse complete a personal mission for blocking damage. But in general, this gun can be considered ideal for a heavy tank. When you choose a gun, you select your playstyle. Will you go with an aggressive and daring hybrid of a heavy and a medium tank, or a confident and serious dealer of alpha damage? Your call. This Yo had the 105mm quick-firing gun. To no one's surprise, it tracked me easily. I thought it was the end for me. Heavy forgot his fear of the water and jumped in without hesitation. Ahem. But as you remember, he didn't know how to swim. That distracted the Yo for a while, as it was going to finish off Jackie Sheridan.
Hit the road, Jackie.
Thankfully, I managed to find my board. Ahoy, I'm riding high again. Sorry for being late. I have wide tracks. And now, monster. No, impossible! We tried to stop it, but it just kept on moving. Those were reserve tracks. They allow the Yo to keep moving, even if one track is knocked off. Of course, this comes at a cost of speed. Still, it's definitely better than being immobile. The tank can fit its main tracks even when on the move, but the repair takes longer. This tank isn't easy to immobilize, and it won't be destroyed by just shooting at its front wheel. The yaw will only be fully stopped if its reserve track is knocked off. Want to know how to use this mechanic? Well, it just works. Keep playing, and the reserve track might be the key to your survival every now and then. Still, it's no replacement for a repair kit, as the yaw doesn't have a reserve ammo rack. The reserve track is just a useful survival tool that can get the yaw through some tough situations. Any lesser tank would crawl back to the garage on its bare wheels. I didn't have time to stop the yaw. It destroyed poor Jackie. But I won't let it escape, and I won't become its next victim. Now I know its weak spot. I'm a suspect in the destruction of 4 tanks. But I know what I saw.